Hey guys, and welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're very fortunate to have Phoebe here with us. Hi Phoebe.
Hi guys.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
And Phoebe is here to talk about HSPS degree at Cambridge. So if you're thinking of applying to Cambridge, thinking of Humanities or HSPS specifically, keep watching. Cool. Well, Phoebe, thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So Phoebe, what is HSPS?
So HSPS is really great in that it's a really broad combined social sciences degree. So in the first year, most people will study sociology, social anthropology, history, political thought, and international relations. However, you can swap one of those out for a different module. So for example, I swapped out sociology to take world archaeology. I think other options at the time were also biological anthropology, Egyptian and Mesopotamian archaeology, or PBS, which is a module from the psychological department. So there's a great broad variety of social sciences you can take.
Okay, and in terms of the admissions process, is it sort of fairly standard UK application process with UCAS form and?
Yes, I think it's very standard across that. What they're really looking for in the application is a demonstration of interest, that you've really taken an interest in the events that are going on around you and you've engaged with them.
Cool. And by the way, guys, we've got a bunch of videos specifically on how to prepare a UK application, so you can see them on your screen now. But Phoebe, why would somebody consider doing HSPS? Because it seems like it's a lot of stuff bundled up together.
Yes, I think that's definitely fair. Sometimes in first year it felt like I was studying 4 separate subjects, but I think what's great is that you get this kind of broad, interdisciplinary, holistic approach, which is really helpful in later studies, as I'm finding even now. And then in your second and third year, you get the chance to specialise. So from my second year, I specialised in politics and international studies, and that gives you the chance to go more in depth and use all that knowledge you've gained in first year.
Cool. And is it how long is the degree?
So the degree is a standard 3 years in length. So the specialisation is the second 2 years of the degree, which we call part 2.
Okay, right. So so everyone does the same in year 1.
Yeah.
Part 1 and then specialises.
Yeah, so they do the same, mostly 4 modules, with some people swapping them in and out with other ones or from other departments. Okay.
And how would someone prepare a personal statement for HSPS, given that a lot of the subjects are not, in a typical school are not really offered, like social anthropology.
Yeah.
Like no one has it at school.
So they're not looking for you to be able to say that you're deeply interested in all 4 of those things. I don't think that would be expected, and it would probably come across as quite disingenuous, unless, of course, you actually do have a very strong interest in all of them. But you might end up spreading yourself too thin. So I think a really great idea is to kind of demonstrate a really strong interest in one area, but also show, so for example, for me it was politics, but I think it's really important to show that you're open to knowledge in new areas and kind of the interdisciplinary nature of it.
Okay, interesting. So what you're saying is rather than trying to be broad and sort of cover everything, instead pick one part of the course and talk about that.
Yeah, I think so. I think because what Cambridge and Oxbridge more generally are really looking for is a demonstration of your genuine interest and passion for a subject. And if you spread yourself too thinly, you won't be able to get that across. So I think it's great to kind of just hone in on one aspect, but show that you have a very open learning style, I think, because that's really key to getting the most out of Cambridge education, is being open to learning new ideas and kind of bringing in connections from all over. So if you can show that you're bringing in connections from things that might not be traditionally considered part of that subject, then I think that would be great as well.
Okay, interesting. And in terms of the interview, so how does that work? Obviously, for HSPS, unlike many other subjects, there is no extra admissions test, so it's just you apply and then you have a pre-interview assessment. You're given something to read, typically.
Yes. So at the time when I applied, we did have to do an essay beforehand, and I was given my essay to read for an hour beforehand. But then we didn't actually talk about my essay at all in the interview. My interview talked a bit about my personal statement. I only had 1 hour long interview. So I talked a bit about my personal statement, and then also a bit about kind of the social sciences quite generally. So I think it would be good to have an understanding of what social anthropology and sociology are, just in case you get asked a little bit about those. And some colleges will have separate interviews in which you will be expected to talk about that.
Okay, got it. And in terms of sort of advice, so if you had to tell someone who's watching this, who's thinking of going for HSPS, what are your sort of top 3 tips how to maximize the application chances?
So I think my number 1 tip, which I think applies to almost any application, is to really show how you've gone above and beyond what you're learning in school and to connect it all together. So you could talk about a book you've read or a documentary you've watched, and then you went and explored that further through doing something else. I think it's great to kind of show something that sparked your interest and how you've kind of chased that idea down, because that's the key to academic inquiry across the board. So I think that would be my number one tip, is to say, like, I saw this in the news and this was really interesting, so I went and read this book and then I researched this a bit more, and I'd really love to learn more about this during my time at university. My second tip for an application, I think it's good to have a knowledge of current affairs, but I don't think that's key to succeeding in the interview, because you don't need to kind of be able to recite what's been on the 10 o'clock news that evening.
Yeah, because they're not interested in what you know, right?
Yeah, it's about how you learn. So I think in the interview, the key is to just be open to learning new ideas, and it's actually okay to say, oh, I don't know, let me think about that some more, and really vocalise your thought process, because Cambridge has you for 3 years. They're going to teach you things. So it's just about what they've got to work with, like how well can you learn. So I think that's quite key. And a third tip, I think be really open to all the possibilities of things you can learn, and don't try and narrow yourself off too early down one path. I think be really open to the great advantages of HSPS at Cambridge, which is the interdisciplinary nature and all the great things you can learn. I remember learning about archaeology in first year, and that has seen me so well throughout all my other subjects as well, and I never thought it would. So really kind of indulge your academic interests and show your passion for learning in the interview, and that will really come across.
Cool. Great. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're thinking of applying to HSPS, definitely bookmark this video, maybe watch it a couple more times. Please like this video and subscribe. This we make a lot of effort into making these videos, both of us here on screen and the team behind the screen. But for now, all the best to you. Phoebe, thank you very much. And good luck, guys. Take care.